Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is the regular city council meeting for August the 20th, 2025. The time now is 7:27. Madam Clerk,
Mayor Douglas Lawson,
Here.
Chairperson Shirley Lanier,
here.
Chair Pro Tem Kashama Miller Anderson,
Present.
Councilperson Bruce Guyton,
Here.
Councilperson Glenn Spiritus, Councilperson Priscilla Davis Panier,
Here.
City Manager Jonathan Evans,
Present.
Acting City Clerk Deborah Hall is present, City Attorney Don Nguyen.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum, you may proceed.
Thank you. We'll have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Panier Davis. Davis Panier. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions for the agenda that is in front of us?
Yeah, Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
if I can take 6B, the proclamation before 6A.
I'm sorry?
Can I take the proclamation 6B for Miss Ann Sutton before 6A?
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other deletions, substitutions? I'd also, after the consent agenda, and before we get into the ordinance, I want to have public comment. Are there any disclosures for anyone that is on the council or for staff? Hearing none. Madam Clerk,
Are we adopting the
you're
agenda?
adopting the agenda with the changes.
Okay, we just need a motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
The consent agenda, all matters listed under this item are considered to be routine and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussions of these items unless a council person so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Are there any comment cards for the consent agenda?
And Madam Chair, we do not have any public comment cards for consent. The acceptance of cards is closed.
Any discussion on the 3A and 3B on consent? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Thank you. We'll go to 6B now.
Yes, Madam Chair, we are on item 6B as requested by the mayor. That is proclamation for Ann G. Sutton.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a proclamation for the life and legacy of Miss Ann Sutton. I wasn't able to attend her homegoing services, but Miss Sutton was an amazing leader and an employee of the city of Riviera Beach, and I wanted to make sure this proclamation was read into the record. I'm not sure if she has any of her family here, but I will make sure this gets to their family. Official proclamation from the Office of the Mayor honoring the life and legacy of Ann Sutton. Whereas Ann Sutton made history as the first Black library director for the city of Riviera Beach, leaving a mark on the community through her visionary leadership and dedication to literacy, education, and cultural perseverance. Whereas she was instrumental in establishing the African American Room at Riviera Beach Public Library and treasured resource located on the second floor. which housed over 2,200 items, including books by Black authors and historic documents. This space serves students, ministers, families, and researchers, enriching the community's understanding of Black history and culture. Whereas Anne expanded library access by opening a satellite branch at Tate's Gym, providing book and materials in partnership with Riviera Beach Parks and Recreation Department, ensuring children and families had a greater opportunity to engage with literacy. Whereas she championed initiative programs for youth, including Pajama Time, Homework Help, Children's Theater, Summer Reading Program, and the Mother Goose of Olympics. Whereas Anne secured a grant from the Bill Gates Foundation to provide free public access computers and internet access across the library and bridging the digital gap divide and establishing the library in the city's technological technical hub. Whereas she founded the Book Lovers Luncheon in 1985 to raise funds for youth, for young adults, literature, and ensuring the library joined the Library Cooperative of Palm Beaches, granting Riviera Beach cardholders free access to libraries across the country. Whereas her legacy extends beyond the library, having served as a librarian in North Shore High School and a second grade teacher for Palm Beach County School District, touching countless lives through education. Now, therefore, Douglas Lawson, on behalf of the city of Riviera Beach, do hereby proclaim the greatest gratitude to Anne Sutton for her contributions, her passion, her literacy, her equity, and community engagement, that legacy that she's left for generations to come. Signed this 20th day of August, Mayor Doug Lawson.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, may I say something?
Sure.
Okay, and I just want to, give my condolences and many thanks to Ms. Sutton. I spent many hours with her at the library growing up, and she definitely had an impact on my education and my life. And I also want to recognize her as an Ivy Beyond the Wall as a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Next item.
Madam Chair, we are on item 6A, Mayor's Action Plan.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, colleagues, for allowing me to add this to the agenda and bringing this action plan. This action plan is a plan that I wanted to present, not an action plan of the mayor's office, but just of the residents. And I want to take a few moments to introduce the framework. A few days ago, I actually presented to the council the key points and the details of this action plan. The document currently is in draft form, and the edits are ongoing. We want to finalize from public consumption over the next few weeks and forward to the entire city. But right now, being that we're in budget talks, I want to schedule one-on-one meetings and have the opportunity to weigh in on a final plan with all of my colleagues, staff, to make sure it's incorporated into the actual budget documents. As you know, the staff and I have conducted a series of listening sessions, and every one of my colleagues joined in every listening session within their districts and throughout the city. So I want to thank you. The sole purpose was to obtain feedback from residents, employees, and business owners on what they need, what they feared, and what they expected within their government. What we learned from the residents was that the West Side or Singer Island, whether you were fifth-generation residents or new entrepreneur, you wanted the same thing. Riviera Beach that works, Riviera Beach that thrives, and Riviera Beach that listens. We wanted infrastructure that was reliable and every dollar was spent wisely. We wanted good jobs, affordable housing, and support for small businesses. And we wanted voices to shape decisions and employees to take pride in the work that they served. During these listening tours, residents did not mince words. They demanded actions, and we created 7 priorities, where branding, marketing, and communications was the nucleus behind all of them. I would say 65% of the comments on this listening tour came from the fact that we needed better communications, better marketing, and better engagement with our residents and with our council and with our staff. The 7 priorities that were established were quality water and infrastructure, affordable housing and homeownership, economic and small business revitalization, education and school readiness, transparent governance, employee morale, social services, and community care. But the definitive thing and the overarching goal was that transparent and relentless communication was what the progress was needed, otherwise we would fail. The residents' demands that came during every one of these listening tours turned into this action plan that we've created. And this is what I've emailed out to all of my colleagues this week. And this is going to be kind of the glue that kind of holds it all together. Branding, marketing, communications. Residents expressed frustration about messaging delays behind emergencies like road repairs or boil water notices. They also mentioned how Riviera Beach's most valuable assets would go unmarketed, while negative news markings were consistently in the forefront. The media would advertise and tell our story and not allow for us to tell our own story. So that was an issue, and that's why I believe we went forward with creating that media and marketing communications department with the new hire of Walter Stevens to our department. What I'm proposing is increasing staff on communications team and a dedicated public relations and communications manager, utility district marketing and communications manager to solely dictate the transparency and communication with the utility district. We had a lengthy meeting tonight just talking about UD, and as the entire city and community knows, the utility district is a hot topic in Riviera Beach. We need to provide potable, clear, transparent understanding to our residents with clean water to our residents. But we need to tell the story about the $30, $40 million that have gone into it, the approvals of the $28 million from tonight. We need to make sure that we're telling that story. We want to make sure that we're actually continuing to overhaul our website as well. The first line of contact for the city is not an effective tool. We've had recent upgrades to the website, and we want to make sure that we continue to upgrade that website to show that we're providing transparent government. Upgrading our marketing and communications technology equipment for the original content creation. We want to do that in-house. The number one priority outside of these 7 things was branding, communications, and marketing. So this will be going out to the public in detail, but when we have these meetings, this is why I want to be intentional when we talk about the marketing department. Of our 7 items, we have quality water and sustainable infrastructure. That's number 1. Many of the needs and residents' demands mirrored those outlined from what Mr. Bailey said yesterday and Mr. Neiman said. However, the recent water quality issues eroded the trust in our water system. Residents were questioning water quality as well as expressing distrust in the accuracy of the billing systems. What we're proposing, based upon the engagement in the conversation, is partnering with an independent auditor to audit our billing systems and resolve errors in a timely fashion. Distribute free at-home testing kits to include residents in the process of improving and testing our water quality while rebuilding that trust at the same time. And making sure that our park renovations are being done and Parks and Rec reservations are being done. Something like Monroe Heights, that was a conversation where we needed essentially bathrooms. Every park is supposed to be provided with the basic necessities. And that was one of the things that we heard throughout the conversations. Number 2, affordable workforce housing and homeownership. We have a limited inventory. Raising rents creates an affordable issue for our very own employees and school teachers. This plan proposes that we support the most valuable resource, which is our employees. What we're proposing is launching a live, work, play housing program. Down payment assistance for all of our Riviera Beach employees up to $50,000 to match the $50,000 we've already done to help them with actually affordable housing, workforce housing, and fee simple housing in our community. $15,000 for Palm Beach County educators. Partnering with the local developers for educator housing projects to reserve units at below market rates in order to attract educators to live in our community. Number 3, economic and small business growth. Residents want to see us capitalize on the economic potential of Riviera Beach, and the city grows as residents demand to be included in economic tides that lift every boat. What we're proposing is to launch our Skill Up Riviera Beach with Palm Beach State, partner with private employers and trade unions to train residents for high demands of jobs and jobs for the future. To host a Riviera Beach Procurement Conference, which is currently in the works with our procurement department, and bring in directors like Franklin Lee, who actually wrote the disparity study for Palm Beach County School District and West Palm Beach. There's a national conversation that is scrubbing the DEI language. We need to get ahead and be aggressive with this. And provide and advocate for hiring of economic development manager to focus on business economic growth. That job has been vacant for almost a year now since Ms. Maxfield left. Education and school readiness. Across the city, residents shared a common goal of ensuring the future of our kids. The students lag behind, and we have some of the lowest reading scores in Palm Beach County. We've taken the initiative, and thanks to Madam Chair for really being aggressive and being a champion for this, we want to continue to propose launching Read to Rise, an initiative of local businesses to provide incentives for youth reading gains, to provide students with perfect attendance, free tickets, gifts, and certificates, and incentivizing them, and to partner with the library with a newborn welcome package, including 3 baby books to our newborns as part of the Riviera Beach Newborn Baby Library Bundle. Number 5, transparent governance and employee morale. Those are combined resources here that we have, but we want to provide transparency. Employee morale, when we had those employee conversations, was dismal in our city. because of the concerns and issues that they've seen within leadership. We need to make sure that we support them. We provide a common outlet for them to have constant conversations and discussions with them, and making sure that the engagement is there. That starts with our city manager and every director, and having the same narrative across the board. So we're proposing optimizing the city's Q alert system for emergency alerts, including road repairs, water maintenance, and utility outages, producing new electronic newsletters, one for residents, one for employees, and one for businesses and nonprofits. And noted yesterday, the proposed hiring of an ombudsman with the mayor's office, independently to address employee and residents' concerns, as well as identifying systemic gaps. Number 6, social services and community care. The budget of social services being cut from schools and nonprofits, Riviera Beach residents are relying on the city to step up to provide vital resources to help access to healthy foods and housing. We're proposing COPS and Care Kit programs and partnering with Palm Beach Harvest, the city of Riviera Beach, and our police department, launch a food pharmacy with Found Care, and then launch our Riviera Beach mobile markets. Now, these 7 items and these 7 tiers that we talked about, it's a lot of information. It's something that I want to meet one-on-one with every one of my colleagues, because I want to build out a plan that is intentional based upon the conversations that we had with the residents. I believe the residents are the valuable part, because for far too long we sit here on that budget and we just kind of continue to pass the budget year in and year out, and it's just brought back to us. We've had multiple engagements and every one of my colleagues showed up to these meetings. I want us to make sure the voices of the residents are incorporated into the budget and that the budget actually expresses the needs of the residents. The last line of defense for these residents is every single one of the people that sit on this government line. And I'm proud to say that we've delivered a plan and a process that I want to review with us. So when we go to the next phase of our budget, that the ideas and the visions that we're proposing and what you have to propose can be incorporated into the budget. Our budget needs to reflect the needs of the residents. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the time, and I appreciate it. And if we can schedule some time to sit down, I'd love to before our next budget workshop. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that presentation. Are there any questions for the mayor?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to thank the mayor for his listening tour. It was very interesting on Singer Island, what came out of that tour. I'd just like to remind, I didn't hear it mentioned just now, but the main 2 issues that came up were environmental issues, the submerged lands, of course, in the lagoon, and the overdevelopment at the south end of the island. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments for the mayor?
Madam Chair.
Go
Oh, you
ahead.
said from him?
No, from you.
No.
From the board.
Yes, I just want to thank the mayor for taking the time out to meet with the residents. I mean, he had a very elaborate schedule, and the people showed up, and I think it's important that we try to encapsulate most of what they said. I know there are some heavy-duty budgets associated with some of this, but hopefully we can incorporate some of it. We know we have a lot of needs, so it'll be very strategic, I'm sure, as to what we decide to put monies towards. But there are some things in there that we've been all talking about for a while now, so I don't think it would be too hard of a lift to be able to support some of it. So I just wanted to say thank you for the effort that you put in to do that.
Thank you. Madam Chair, if I could just follow up on that. I agree. A lot of the conversations and even the youth council that Ms. Miller Anderson has been pushing for years, that was one of the main concerns and conversations that came about throughout the community charrettes, the conversations in the public, making sure our youth are involved. So we took the initiative, well, myself, Ms. Miller Anderson, with Ms. Weston and our interns, Kaylin and Acacia, we all put together a process where we can get the youth engaged. And I actually found out that they're going to be bringing a media, hopefully a communications department to work with our youth as well, working with Inlet. So that'll be great to incorporate that with the city. Support funding and budgeting, these are the type of programs we want to pour back into. Because if we can train our youth to be engaged in civic engagement, to be prepared to be the next mayor or city manager, we're preparing them for government's continuity in government. And we're also teaching them how to market and advertise the city properly. So I think they go hand in hand. And these are budgeted items that we should start to impact. So thank you for that, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I would like to say thank you, Mayor, for a lot of this. A lot of these are definitely topics that the community has been talking about for years. A lot of us when we do campaign, we campaign on these things because these are issues that concern the residents and that just make our city, I think, thrive. I do, I would love to know about the budget. What was the total budget that you're projecting to be asking for?
So, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
So I wasn't projecting. These are just kind of markers and ideas. And this is an actual growing document. So it can be added on, it can be subtracted. There's no complete task. I do have my chief of staff here that actually wanted to address and kind of speak on that budget item, if that's okay, Madam Chair.
Yes, 3 minutes.
Madam Chair, I won't even take that amount of time. I just wanted to note that the budget items that are there, many of the budget items are already a part of the budget that you guys are beginning to consider. There are some things in the budget that will be new investments that you guys may want to consider, but a portion of what you see in front of you from a budget standpoint is already something that has been cared for or identified in your current budget. There may just need to be some level of reallocation.
Okay.
And again, we hope to be able to sit one-on-one with each of you to hear your concerns, hear your ideas, and incorporate those as well.
Okay. Well, Madam Chair, follow up.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I would like for you to, I can go ahead and tell you that I would like for you to look into, because what I counted up was a $1.8 million for the mayor's office and administration when it comes to marketing versus $270,000 that benefit the employees. And they are a part, they may not be all residents, but they are a very important factor in the things that we need to look at in the budget. Employee retention, he talked about employee morale. I need to see more of what we're going to do in that area. And like you said, a lot of it, they're duplicate services, and I can appreciate that. And we do need to do a better job of communicating what we're doing and the resources that we do offer within the city to the public. So I'm all aboard with that. But I do notice, like you said, this is a lot of overhead. I don't see a lot of revenue generation, in this, and these are programs. But we have got to focus on, what is the little saying? We got to make the main thing the main thing. And I've only been here for, in the budget meetings for like two days. And what I did here is that we need to find sources of income that are not related to property taxes. There's a gap with the police pension fund. We got to have a water plant. We have to find out, we have to do stuff with our infrastructure and things like that. So we have a lot of money to spend that definitely impacts the residents. So I just want to make sure that we're considering all of that. And I'm sure that's going to be, that's something that me and the colleagues will discuss.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I will say that, again, some of the items that are there, even when we talk about marketing, I want to also be clear that we are not requesting that to come into the mayor's office and budget. Those dollars would still go under that respective department. And the case is the same with many other items on there as well. We also do plan to, leverage and work with our private and community partners on some of the areas where we want to have businesses and developers who come into our community to be true partners with the city and to support us in some of those initiatives that are in the plan as well.
But you said the public will get to see it.
Yes,
Okay.
we plan to be able to release this as a final document to the public once we've had our one-on-ones with you all and have been able to incorporate your thoughts and ideas as well.
Thank you so much for that presentation.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
We'll go right into public comment. Yes,
Madam Chair, we have 6 public comment cards. The acceptance of the public comment cards is closed. That's 7. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
thank you. Public comment shall begin at 7:30 p.m. unless there's no further business of the city council, which in that event, it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 7:30, then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded, the city council has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the city council chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee move from the podium, from the meeting, and/or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly.
Madam Chair, the first speaker is Dr. Philip M. Dukes, followed by Lynn Hubbard and Michael Jordan.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Dr. Philip M. Dukes, CEO of Operation Restore, 561-827-7499. You can contact us. This evening, I want to, I come over and talk to you about, y'all got to get some taller mics too, okay? I was going to talk to you more about Black history. I was going to talk to you more about how Sungar Mali and how Black people were the first people to fashion gold, were the first people to build anything on the planet. But I'm going to talk about that next time. And also how Black people were the first people to sail, who sailed to China long before Europe or any of the European nations had the proper understanding of how it is documented. But I'm going to talk about that next time. I want to talk about Black history in America because something is repeating itself. Now, I am neither Democrat nor Republican, okay? Because anytime we vote, we're voting for who we think is the lesser evil. Every time we vote. That's how we look at it. We just be honest. Who's the little devil? Who's the big devil? All right, all of us got some devil in us, okay? So, but something is being repeated here in Black history, where this president and this administration is undoing everything that Black people have accomplished in America. They're undoing that. And we can't be silent, and you can't have hate, and you can't have bigotry, and you can't villainize people. He's following the pattern of Andrew Jackson. That's what he's doing. He's doing that. While we speak, he's doing it. And you cannot be afraid. Riviera Beach is 24 minutes and 9.5 miles from Mar-a-Lago. So you can't be scared to speak out. It is not about retribution. It's about us telling the truth of the history of what's happening. We have a president that wants to have a fascist nation like George Washington. But George Washington called it a plantation. Now let that soak in. So I'm asking the citizens of Riviera Beach and all of us to stand up and don't be divisive. Don't hate one another. Don't fall into that bag, but just tell the truth. This president is un-American. Do you know who blamed him for the insurrection? What Republican? How many of y'all know what Republican blamed him for that? Y'all should know his name. You should know what happened during Reconstruction and how everything is being undone. So we can't have hate. I want to encourage us to start and the work of Pastor King. Many people don't like Pastor King for what he stood for, but he was right. He is one of the greatest American patriots ever lived. And he did not teach hate, and he did not teach Black nationalism. He taught be true to what you put on paper.
Madam Chair, the next speaker is Lynn Hubbard, Michael Jordan, and then Margaret Shepherd.
Good evening, Lynn Hubbard, Riviera Beach. We're back. My neighbors and I, we're here again. We're asking for your assistance in dealing with the project that's happening behind our house on Blue Heron and R Avenue. The problem is that it's impeding the quality of life for us. We are real clear that they bought the land. There's nothing that we can do about that part of it. We know that the city allowed them to cover the canal, and on the bank, on the handle of the canal, if you will, the city, that was city's public access. So that too was given to them. But what has happened to us and our 5 foot of easement, and I know that staff will come up here behind me and they will contradict what I'm saying and saying that I am wrong. Behind our homes that sit on the canal bank, we had 5 feet of easement. All of us. The property had been replatted. So therefore, when we went out to hire a surveyor, and it now shows that we never had any easement. That's a contradiction of the word easement within itself. all reputable fence companies get permits and they are told that they have to leave 5 feet out of our property outside for public utility. We did that. We left that out. Now it's saying that it was replatted. Once it was replatted, it was deemed public access. You can't make up different ways to take people property to give it to someone else. The 5 feet of loan of easement, which is ours, is also not enough for them to be near us. Just for the sake of this conversation, let's just say our 5 feet easement belong to the developer. What I'm asking you is that still you gave the developer enough land and stuff to say to them, we want you further away from our residence. Whatever you have to do, we gave you a canal and we gave you 5 feet of our land. What we want you to do now is move further away from our residence, regardless if you say we don't have 5 feet of easement anymore. Our land was replatted. Now we know that is as illegal as it is wrong. But for the sake of time, we just want y'all to represent us, stand up for us, and tell them to do whatever it is they have to do to back up. So I know staff is saying they haven't violated their site plan. Number one, the site plan should not have been approved with them that close to our home. That should have been a problem for anybody that could read a plan. I mean, if you're representing us, if you're working for us, you're standing more for the developer than for us. And we're just asking that y'all would come to our side and come out and see what we're talking about.
So much.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Michael Jordan, followed by Margaret Shepard and Chandra Stringer.
I would like to say hello to the council, first of all. I would like to say also that I did agree with a lot of things that we were talking about earlier with the utility and with the issue with the water. Now, one thing I did not agree with, like I said, we are all in this together. We cannot play the blame game, because if staff was at fault, they have a manager. That manager should have been at fault. And then when you look at the one that's over that manager, they should have been at fault. So that makes us all at fault about the situation with the water. Because number one, a lot of untruths was told about the water. I've got up here and said it many times that what will you all do with rebuilding the communication and the partnership with the community? You still feel like that's not important, but you see, we still need you all and you all need us. Just like the things that Ms. Hubbard is crying out about, she is asking for help with that, for you all to take a look at it. Okay, it's not about me. Okay, I'm not the only one that live in this city. All of us live in this city. If you don't live in the city, you have a relative that lives in the city. So you should want to make everything better for everybody. Now, I like and respect the progress that has gone forward. But according to the fine that you all spoke about earlier, that's y'all problem. That's not our problem. Because like I said again, it went on the lies that was told. Now, what Mr. Scott said about all these figures being thrown around and you agreeing with all this information and approving this with all these different funds, okay, like you want to beautify the city. You can beautify it on the outside, but if it ain't right on the inside, the outside still gonna look ugly, okay? And I'm just trying to be respectful to you all. We want to work with you all and help you all, but we need each other. We're here together, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but like I said, we have older people that can't get out into the meetings that we communicate with, okay? That can't get out here and voice their opinion. I want to make a recommendation. A lot of the presentations are not saying that they are not needed, but maybe they should be done at the end and you have the business first. Okay, that's the way that I think, and what I'm recommending, with all respect to you all. And one last thing I want to say that I have not forgotten and that I will still bring it up. It's about Miss Deborah Hall. I still see acting intern by her name. Okay, I know the council, I can speak with you all, but you all may not be the ones that directly supervise her, but I know you see how long that has been on the paper. And if she's not qualified to do the job, then I don't know what else to say. She's been doing it so far and so good because you still depend on her. So I'm just asking that you take a look at that and meet with whoever is her manager and try to get that straightened out behind her name. I respect all of you all and have a great night.
The next speaker is Margaret Shepherd, followed by Chandra Stringer and Cindy March.
Margaret Shepherd, Riviera Beach. In lieu of that of Mr. Michael Jordan, Deborah Hall McCollum has intercepted her degree as our master municipal clerk. So she's elevated herself. And I'll say it again, she's a Black woman as well as Lydia Frank Atwood's self-made Black women. She took this job on. Instead of 3 years, Miss Deborah Hall McCollum has did the job in 2, and she ought to be commended. I would have got some flowers, but it was raining outside, so I will get them to you. But know that you are loved in this city. I want to leave it like that. The morale, you talk about the morale. And as I sat there and listened to you all doing the budget, you talk about the aides. I don't think one is no better than the other. When I go to these different meetings or whatever, Mr. Mayor, I see all of these, just about all of these aides at one of these meetings or 2. The legislative aide, the chief of staff, it was organized for Miss Roseanne Brown. That's where that phrase came in at, where she took on the whole slate of all the aides, making sure everything was on task. So if you pay one, then you're going to upset the other ones because they're out there working just as hard as the other one. It's so unfair that we want to start desecrating or start making waves, pay them all the same. Then they will all feel the same. They're out in the dark doing your business. Number 2, the clerk, Miss Ann Sutton. I thank her for when I first came here. 55 years ago, I knew nothing about the city of Riviera Beach. I stayed in the library and read those 100 books. Deborah and the rest of that crew over there helped navigate me. That's how I know so much about the city of Riviera Beach. I thank you for that proclamation. I thank you for the proclamation for the Reverend Griffin Davis. As you can see, I'm better. I think that portion of mental health did me a little bit. I didn't know what was wrong. I had no idea what was wrong until I went to the doctor and he allowed me to know you're grieving and you are in a position of knowing that you are depressed. So the medication you see is working. And I'm back to Margaret Shepherd. And I want you to know thank you because for some reason it got in my head. I need to go to the doctor. I need to start talking. And that's when he said mental health. I never thought about it that way, Doug. But thank you for that session. I hope you go back into that session again. It's very important that even at my age, we need to know about what? Mental health. Thank you, sir.
The next speaker is Chandra Stringer, followed by Cindy March and Doretta Paul.
Good evening to the Honorable Mayor, to Attorney Nguyen and City Manager Evans, and to the council at large. I am Chandra Stringer. Mr. Brody looked at me like, you're doing public comments. I'm like, hush, I'm the legislative aide tonight, so we're good. Anyway, I would like to make an announcement on the behalf of Councilperson Priscilla Davis Panier. On Monday night is the launch of the National Neighborhood Navigator Program, as well as further details about the emerging leaders. And to the residents that are watching, to the residents that are here, we're asking for you to please be in attendance. We're going to have dinner that night, but most important, we're going to have some important dialogue. So if you would, we have flyers in the back. You can go on the website and register. Registration is really for a method of us communicating to you as a reminder about the meeting, but also for us to have a head count with the food because we are doing food that night. The Neighborhood Navigator is really about the council plus the community coming together to collaborate and have wholesome dialogue of what resources are available, what do the community need, and how we can work together to make this city a city that we continue to live, work, and play. In addition to that, we have launched the Emerging Leaders. The Emerging Leaders program is the program to highlight ages 6 to 25 from great things that they're doing in the community. You can find that on the website as well. And we do have some flyers. If you've seen me around town today, going up and down the streets, passing out flyers, I'm doing both of these. We have both of them available, but please visit the website. And if you need further information, our contact information is on the website. And I want to thank the council and definitely City Manager Evans for their support in making sure that this initiative goes off without a cent. Chandra Stringer, legislative aide for Councilwoman Davis Penier, and we look forward to seeing all of your friendly faces on Monday night right here at 6 p.m.
The next speaker is Cindy March, followed by Doretta Paul.
Good evening, Council. First of all, I want to piggyback on what a couple of the people said, and I've been saying it and reiterating it. I truly believe it's time for Ms. Deborah Hall to be appointed as not the active, but regular city clerk. She has earned that. And I don't know what it's going to take, HR or the manager or whatever, but you all need to come together and make that for her because her work speaks for itself. Number two, I just want you all to understand and know that you all work for us. We don't work for you all. And if you all don't live in that district, when a problem comes to be a problematic problem, why don't you all get together and go see about the problem? Because you know what? We just don't knock on doors on the west side. We knock on doors on Singer Island. We knock on gated community. We call all over. You all run to everybody's neighborhood. So when it's a problem, run to the person's neighborhood and help them. Monroe Heights is only asking you all, why don't you come out and see the problem? And then when you do see the problem, you know it's a problem, ask yourself, what if it was me? What if it was my community? It might not be your neighborhood today, but tomorrow it might be. And if no one's going to stand up for you, you can't feel no kind of way because you're not doing it to the residents. And that's something need to be embarked on your agenda, the mayor, making sure and implement that we need to go speak to these people in the residents who put us into office. Because you all always come to us. You all have worked with Lynn Hubbard. She have helped everybody. Everybody. Whether you like her, you don't like her, she put her feet on the ground. You know, we can agree and disagree, and I have done it with her before. But one thing for sure and two things for certain, she cares about her community. She cares about her residents. And she don't get the props that she deserves. And I just want to say thank you so much, Mr. Glenn Spiritus, for that town hall meeting or whatever you had on Singer Island about the fire station. You're doing a remarkable job. But what I would like to see is you come on the west side and just come over and reach out to us because believe it or not, I know the numbers at the election office when I campaign for you. The people love you. And in order to keep that momentum, we can't turn our backs on them at all because you're what we need. A great leader bring people together. It don't divide people. And we're not going back. We just asking for a little help. That's all we asking for. And being that you know about a lot of stuff that they don't know about developing, we appreciate if you can come by. Doug or whoever, just all of y'all get together and come. Make it a group thing because you all work for us. And this water situation, I knew y'all didn't have the $400 million when I went to the first town hall meeting or whatever the workshop Mr. What's his name had. You still don't
so much
have
for
it.
your comments.
Madam Chair, the last speaker is Doretta Paul.
Ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Paul.
Good evening. My name is Doretta Park, and I just wanted to commend. We have a wonderful Riviera Roots with Miss Belika and Mr. Terriel, who teaches us, and also we have also Mrs. Harris, who is a master gardener. And we've been having wonderful meetings there at the Barracuda Bay and also 10th Street about growing different plants and also vegetables, which I'm trying to be into, but some of these cats and rodents get a hold of my vegetables, but I'm still working hard at it. And I just want to commend her. Now, our last meeting, Mr. Evans, is going to be on the 22nd. And where do you think you can carve off somewhere area where we can meet, Riviera Roots can meet, and we still have our planting and gardening instructions, if that could be possible, because now Berico Bay is going to be soon, demolition. So if you can look into that, I know you're so busy, but if you can look into that, that'll be more very appreciative. Another thing I want to talk about is the road signs. Now we got to get a water plant. Now, I had to leave the last meeting we had at the fire station. I had to leave a little earlier, and it was brought up about the road signs. Now, some of these people that nominated is very worthy of this, but we need a water plant. How much are these road signs costing? Is it costing as much as the previous ones? When does this stop? Because we got to get a water plant. We need to save as much money as we can. So if you can also think about that, if you all agreed, because I had to leave, if you all agreed to let's do it this time, yes, but let's cut it off there until we get our water plant, if that was agreed. Now, awards, I can't say enough for Mr. Walter Stevens. I have AT&T a channel getting the communications here, and a lot of times that goes out. This is channel 99 AT&T, and I call Walter. He's right on it, right on it. And if he can't get a contact with AT&T representative, he is putting me on YouTube. So I can't say enough for him. He is a hardworking, dedicated young man. And he says he works for all the citizens of Riviera Beach, and he does. So I commend Mrs. Simmons and Mrs. Reynolds, and also our Deborah
For your
Hall.
comments.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Hall, next item.
Madam Chair, we are on ordinances on first reading, item 9A. Ordinance number 4282, an ordinance of the City of Riviera Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 31 zoning, Article 1 in general, Section 31-4 to require public notice for all site plan and special exception applications, requiring a public hearing, providing for codification, severability, and an effective date. Madam Chair, we do not have any comment cards on this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Summers, Mr. Evans, after he's finished, you can give responses. I forgot to ask you for the residents who came up for public comment after Mr. Summers is done. Go ahead, Mr. Summers.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of council, honorable mayor, Madam Attorney, Mr. Manager. For the record, I am Clarence Sermons, Director of Development Services for the City of Riviera Beach. The text amendment before you now is an item that we previously discussed as a discussion and deliberation item on the agenda related to required public notices for site plan and special exception applications. Currently, site plans do not require a signed notice or mailer notice for abutters before a public hearing. This ordinance is to amend this section of the code to make that a requirement of those types of development applications as well. And if the council desires more details on this item or has any questions, I am happy to respond.
Any public comment for this item?
Madam Chair, we do not have any public comment cards on this item.
Any questions from the board regarding this item? Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Panier.
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton.
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson.
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus.
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
Thank you, Mr. Sermons. Next item?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Oh, yes, go ahead with the
Yes.
response for
Yes.
the public comment.
Madam Chair, we did
Pursuant to the comments that were made during citizen comments, more specifically about the Blue Heron commercial, Director Sermons, if you can approach the podium. We did facilitate a conversation with the developer from the last meeting, and in our conversation with the developer, they maintain their existing position that in fact they are building to what the approved site plan is, and then staff did go and conduct some additional research. So there is some relevant information that I would ask that Mr. Director Sermons provide to the board, and then we will also look to facilitate a meeting with the residents that are here to provide greater specificity. But staff did have a conversation on the topic with the developer, as well as reviewed some of the additional records that we did have.
Mr. Sermons?
Yes, good evening again, Madam Chair. As the manager stated, since there were multiple comments at the last council meeting related to the Blue Heron Commercial Project is the name as it was approved. Staff did re-review all of the information that we looked at before, as well as held a meeting with the developer, made them aware of what was discussed at the previous meeting and the concerns that were raised. We have, after that meeting, we received additional communications from them, and they do believe, and I believe the information was forwarded before, that they do believe they're working within their approved development rights. Staff has not found any violations of the development order, any of the building codes or regulations related to the project, although we understand that there is discomfort towards the project by the residents that live near it. I have compiled that research, and I'm prepared to pass out a copy of all of the plats, documents, and communications that went into that research report. But I'll leave it up to the desire of the council of how much detail you would like me to get into on the matter.
Madam Chair.
Let's go ahead.
Before it was approved, were the residents able to give input on what was being approved? I'm not really, I'm new, so I'm not really sure of that process.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. There was multiple points of public outreach related to this project. In fact, when it initially went to the Planning and Zoning Board on January 9th of 2020, the board was uncomfortable with the amount of community outreach that had taken place to that point and tabled the item, and it did not move forward at that time. After that meeting, the developer went into the neighborhood and knocked on doors to get feedback from the community members and provided staff with the results of those conversations and those who were for and against the project, of which there were persons in either category. That took place on February 5th, 2020. Subsequent to that, February 13th, the Planning and Zoning Board did recommend approval. The first time it was slated for the City Council agenda, it was pulled again because there was unreadiness about different aspects of the project. There was about 9 months of additional research that was taking place to address concerns of the utility district, and it came back to the City Council, and there was still unreadiness with the amount of public outreach that had taken place. To respond to that, on July 19th, 2022, the developer held a community meeting at the Lindsay Davis Center. On August 8th, 2022, the developer held an additional meeting at the Lindsay Davis Community Center. Aside from those 3 areas of outreach, there were no less than 4 noticed public meetings where abutter notices were sent out and confirmed by staff, signs were posted, and because there was a land use change, abandonment, and zone change associated with this project, it was also posted in the newspaper. So there were multiple points of community outreach and public notice for this project, and some of the aspects of that site plan were a result of feedback from the community outreach.
Madam Chair?
Are you finished?
Okay, no, I want to make one more comment. So once again, I know what you're saying. I know that we're saying that we're within our rights and the developers, but have we really spoken up on behalf of the residents? Have we really? I know we can't, we can't make that determination for them, But have we really, as a city who is working for our residents, have we really asked if there was anything they would be willing to do for compromise to?
Anything that the developer is
yeah.
willing to do?
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes. Following up on the previous council meeting, city administration and myself met with the developer and their entire team to discuss options, potential concessions, additional concessions, and that request was made. But even prior to that, staff has gone to the site, and it's been a hot summer, 92 degrees outside. We were standing at the canal with multiple members of the community, hearing their concerns, communicating our observations, our reviews, the inspections that have taken place at the site. We followed up that meeting with additional paper research, created an additional in-person meeting in the AC that time to discuss everything that was found related to the project. And we have accepted that we will not be able to assuage all of the concerns related to this project, but we have absolutely made a good faith effort to bring all parties to the table and make sure we're not overstepping the city's limitations, because they do have a council approved development order. Both parties have attorneys that are involved in litigation. So we have been careful not to overstep our abilities and authorities at this point in the situation. But yes, we have done, I believe, made a good and valiant effort to bring both parties to the table and get some understanding, get additional adjustments and concessions. And the communications that you receive from the manager is where all of that has led us to.
Thank you for the clarification on the email, because I was going to ask.
I'm sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Sermons, can you tell me what date the site plan was approved?
The site plan was approved on September 21st, 2022.
2021?
2022.
Okay. Mr. Sermons, have you seen any title reports with respect to this property?
What types of title documents are you referring to?
Clearly the neighbors are claiming that they had a 5-foot setback easement on their property. Has the city attempted to order a title report from an independent title company that does this for a living to determine how far back that went and if it ever existed and when was it changed?
To verify the property boundaries, we have not relied on surveys, but we have relied on the plats for the associated properties, which are completed by surveys and stamped with their license numbers of those surveyors. But we have utilized those documents to verify the boundaries and confirm that the 5-foot easement that has been discussed is still in existence, is still on the residential properties involved.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So there is a 5-foot easement?
Yes, there is. On the residential lots to the rear of them, there is a 5-foot utility easement that is still in existence.
5-foot utility easement?
That's correct.
Okay. That's the pipe, I guess, the drainage pipe, where the drainage pipe is now?
No. It is, the 5-foot easement is on the residential properties, where it has always been since the neighborhood was platted in 1925, if I'm not mistaken on that date. But yes, it's a very old plat. The easements were established during that plat. There were 2 replats of the neighborhood after that. The easements were never affected by any replats, those replats had nothing to do with the Blue Heron commercial development. The easements are still there.
Okay, so the drainage easement is separate and distinct from the other easement?
That's correct.
What was that, an FPL easement?
Which one, the drainage easement?
No, the easement on the property itself, the 5-foot easement.
Utility easement is how it was platted, I believe. I'm not sure what all companies have facilities within that easement, but it is a utility easement.
Is that the power lines in the back of the houses?
More than likely, those are a part of the easement, but at the moment, I know that there's a utility easement there. There are utilities there, power poles. More than likely, those are within the 5-foot utility easement.
One more question, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we have a drainage easement, and they put in their drainage pipes along that line there. Is there any prohibition of landscaping in that area? Over those, on that easement?
There's not a prohibition, but there are limitations. So no longer talking about the easement on the residential properties, the 5-foot utility
Right,
easement.
talking about
Talk-
the drainage easement.
Now talking about the commercial property.
Right.
Yes, there was a drainage easement established on top of where the canal right-of-way used to be. There is proposed landscaping within that easement area. However, there are limitations because, of course, the drainage pipe is in there at one point, and certain types of landscaping could affect it. There's also a 6-foot privacy wall that is within that drainage easement, and landscaping could interfere with the location of it as well. So there is landscaping there. It's not prohibited, but there are certain places where it cannot go.
Chair?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me how high is that wall going to be?
6 foot tall.
6 foot tall, but the property is much higher, right? The properties in the back where the houses are, they're much higher than the grade of the development site.
Are the properties higher than the grade of the development site? I do not believe so, but based on the exhibit that was circulated earlier this week, the residential properties are lower than the commercial side.
Well, that's interesting. When you drive by, it looks like the residential properties are higher than the development site. How much room is on the back side of that wall? Between the neighbors' fences and where the wall is
So
proposed to be?
between the rear property boundary of the residential and the wall,
Right.
there is 5 feet that is planned between that property and where the wall will go. 5 feet.
That area can be landscaped?
There's already landscaping included in that 5-foot area.
But you can put some pretty high trees in that area, in that 5-foot area.
I would have to defer to some of our other development review team to verify. Our utility and engineer reviewers do have input on what type of landscaping can be allowed near certain infrastructure.
Can you do that, please?
The question is, can
What
investigate whether trees
what
can
the
be.
highest landscaping and the thickness of the landscaping that we can put between the back side of the wall and the neighbors' homes? Their fences.
Okay.
In that 5-foot area.
To review if more landscaping can be added in the 5-foot.
Or larger landscaping than what was called out for in the site plan.
One more.
One more. Okay, good. All right. So I think it came up before. So is that the part of the commercial property, is that going to be a parking area, or is that the actual a building that's going to be within 5, the wall, outside of the wall? Is it going to be a parking lot, or is it going to be the back of the building?
There will be if we start at the property line, going onto the commercial side, it's going to be 5 foot. In that 5 foot, there is a hedgerow that is to be there according to the approved landscaping plan, a 6-foot tall wall, and then the parking lot to serve the commercial development. On the other side of the parking lot, along Blue Heron Boulevard, are the buildings that will serve the development. I don't have that exact dimension from the wall to the buildings at the moment, but the buildings are as far away from the residential properties as possible.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Summers, for that information.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item. Did you read the, did we do a motion in a second? Did we?
No, we didn't. We're on item number 11A. Resolution number 77-25, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riviera Beach, Palm Beach County, Florida, approving the comprehensive agreement between the city and Kaufman Lynn Inc., authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the comprehensive agreement between Kaufman Lynn Construction Inc. and the City of Riviera Beach to provide design, build, construction services for fire rescue, water main in North Ocean, and water tank facilities at Fire Station 86 at 5010 North Ocean in an amount not to exceed $33 million, authorizing the utilization of vendors listed in Exhibit A for furniture, fixtures, and equipment, authorizing project funding in the amount of $25 million from the voter-approved referendum bonds, $5 million from the Utility Special District Renewal and Replacement Fund, and $3 million from the Major Disaster Fund, authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to modify the budget appropriations accordingly, and authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to make payment from projects 23083, Fire Station 86, and providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we have one public comment card in this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
Motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I can have the Capital Projects Administrator, Mr. Terrence Bailey, and Fire Chief John Kurd to make this presentation.
Good evening, Council. Terrence Bailey. As we spent extensive time last night going over this project, we are here to approve the last phase of the fire improvements at Fire Station 86. This project has gone through P&Z and site plan and was approved for its site plan. This contract will authorize the $33 million to not only build a fire station, but replace the 1 million gallon water tank, the pump house, and the connecting pipes. With that, I'll take any questions you may have.
We'll go to public comment. Madam Clerk?
Madam Chair, the public speaker is Cindy March.
I attended the workshop that Glenn had on Singing Island about the fire station. And I'm understanding that they do need a new fire station. It's gonna be worth for like $33 million or $34 million. I'm not the only one had a concern. No, I don't stay on Singing Island, but Singing Island is Riviera Beach and it's taxpayers' dollars as well. And a few of the people asked the same question I asked. Once you see the picture of the new fire station that they're building, the top steeple part, it has nothing valuable and put nothing for storage, nothing for the equipment. It's just the architect of the building. That alone is $100,000. That's wasteful spending. And because we already had wasteful spending for the fire station on Congress with all the money and laid out, but I understand they need a safe environment. They are first responders. I love my first responders because if I get in trouble, the first person I'm gonna call is 911. If I have a fire, the first person I'm gonna call is the fire department. But to spend $100,000 on a steeple that has no usage for using, why can't we take them $100,000 and do something else with it? That's the only thing I disagree with that fire station being built. Other than that, they do need it. And Glenn, once again, you did a marvelous job. Keep up the good work.
Madam Chair, that's in the public comment on this item.
Thank you. Any comment from the board in regards to this item?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Bailey, just can you explain, Mr. Lewis was saying that there were different amounts. Can you clarify or explain what he was discussing regarding like the planning and zoning? He was saying it was one amount and now it's 33 million or?
The chief and I were discussing that in the back, and we were a little confused by Mr. Lewis's statement. We were there at the planning and zoning, and the cost for this fire station has been pretty fixed for the last, say, 4 to 6 months. I'm not sure where his confusion was. $33 million is the number. Where he may have gotten confused from prior sort of conversations, initially we were under the impression, say 3 or 4 years ago when we set out on this project, that it was going to be about a $20 million fire station, and the utility district anticipated about $5 million for the water tank. As we got into design and we massaged the water tank, tall, short, wide, the cost increased. Then we also ran into a situation where the pump house, and we discovered that there were additional needs on Singer Island. For your edification, the north end of Singer Island, there's, I think, a 10-inch pipe that runs from the pump house going north. It's old and undersized for the need. So once we were able to evaluate that situation, upsize the system, we ran into some additional costs. Not to belabor the point, but at the time of the offset of this project, we had anticipated having some relatively de minimis wetland impacts. The code changed. We were not able to impact the wetlands, which made the footprint of the property smaller. It required the need for a seawall in order to not impact those wetlands. And that's when the project kind of got taller once we couldn't get spread out a little bit. So while we're able to accomplish all of the same functions, we're doing it on a lot smaller piece of property than when we believed it was a $25 million project, not to mention the discovery of the concern for water pressure on the north end of the island that we're also going to be taking care of as part of the project.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Bailey, when was the bond passed on this project? Do you remember?
I would yield to the finance director, who is a little more involved.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes, go
I
ahead.
believe March of 24.
March 24. Mr. Bailey, do you have any idea what happened with construction costs from March of 24 to now?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
So, where'd they go from?
A lot to a lot more than a lot.
Right, I think they went from like $180 a square foot to over $300 a square foot. So clearly, this is not, I don't think, that firehouse that we originally planned. We originally planned on a 3-bay firehouse. But because of the wetlands area and the water tank, we had to make it a multi-story building rather than a single-story building. But the cost of construction went up substantially to the point where even if we wanted to build the 3-bay firehouse, we'd probably be talking about $50 million right now. I think the fact that we're doing the 2-bay firehouse has saved us a substantial amount of money.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Really quickly, Mr. Bailey, can you just articulate some of the engineering differences with regards to the station that are part of the costs, the factors that contributed?
I'm sorry, Councilman, I didn't catch your.
He said quickly.
Oh.
All right.
That's not my strong suit, but I'm gonna try. So after, and Chief, help me, after the storm on the West Coast, there was a complete redesign of how fire stations are done.
So just to give you all a little bit of information on the document that we've utilized after Hurricane Ian on the West Coast, FEMA had went out and did a full survey of all municipal buildings on barrier and coastal properties. That included libraries, police stations, and firehouses. That document then came to a guide of when you're building a building on a barrier island that is subject to the threats from a hurricane. These are some of the things that you can build into the facility to make it more resilient. The first and probably the most important is designing it so that that whole first floor of the fire station is designed to wash out. There's special engineering features that are going to be put in to allow water to actually run through the fire station. And then when the water subsides, the water would then run back out of the fire station, which then would lead to all of the HVAC, the air conditioning, the hot water heaters, the electrical to be placed at a higher elevation, even including the emergency generator. So that was the guidance document that was provided to Mr. Bailey and to the team to reference to make sure we were getting the most resilient state-of-the-art barrier island station. And then you can speak to some of the the pilings, and I'm sure some of the other factors.
I believe that answered the manager's
Okay.
question of some of the cost and issues that were into the station.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Councilperson Davis Pannier,
Yes.
Councilperson Guyton,
Yes.
Chair Pro Tem Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Councilperson Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote.
Thank you. Our next item is discussion and deliberation. Mr. Evans, you wanted to have something on that item?
Yes, Madam Chair, very briefly, I know that there has been some conversations at the CRA concerning community benefits and the establishment of a community benefits program.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we, was this one deleted? The agreement for fire station, that was part of the 33 million? Cause they're two separate resolutions.
11A.
Okay, all right, sorry, I just want to make sure we didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I know there's been conversations about the establishment of a community benefits program on the CRA side. And so staff just wants to see clarity from the board that you'd like for me to work with the executive director of the CRA to facilitate what is a either public solicitation or an internal document to share with the board about what the structure and the construct could be of a community benefits program that the city of Riviera Beach could consider for capital projects, especially those that are on the private sector development side. There's some models in some other communities, but we wanted to make sure that there was clarity and consistency both on the city CRA side. So I'm just seeking a clearance from the board to proceed forward with doing the appropriate research and then looking to bring this back to you all in less than about 45 days for some level of discussion, both with myself and the executive director of the CRA.
I don't have a problem moving forward to see what that looks like. I think that, we just did a fire station, and out of those 3 fire stations, there were no community benefits to speak of in regards to the residents in the city. So yes, we have a lot of projects that are coming up, and there needs to be some area, some way that the residents benefit from these projects as well.
Madam Chair.
No, I want him to move forward. Yes,
I'm fine with that too.
Yes.
yes. All right, very good.
If you get it before 45 days, that's
Yes,
great.
exactly. We need a back
Madam-
before 45
yeah,
days though.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go
I've
ahead.
got a draft. I can circulate it a little
Please.
bit earlier.
Thank you. Any other thing, Mr. Evans? City Attorney,
No comments, Madam Chair.
Mayor?
Thank you. First and foremost, I did want to acknowledge one of our staffers from the office of the Madam Clerk. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge her accomplishments of obtaining the prestigious certification as Master Municipal Clerk. We're very proud and dedicated to your position and the work that you've done. Congratulations. One more thing, Madam Chair.
All right.
I was looking for them, trying to figure out where they can. And also, I did want to acknowledge Ms. Polk and congratulate her on her exceptional pride in enhancement and beautification as being a recipient of one of the inaugural Residence Beautification Awards. And last but not least, Madam Chair, I did actually attend the meeting with Ms. Hubbard. I was at the public meeting with staff in front of the facility, and then also in the meeting in City Hall to try to discuss some type of variances or support. Because this project was in the development phase and permitting phase, it was difficult to change the site plan that was already pre-approved. I know that the developer is still trying to look at opportunities and options, but staff has done all their due diligence to figure out what's the best approach. If they can continue to look at any buffers, some recommendations by my colleagues as well, to see what we can do to make sure that we take care of our residents and support them. So I did go to all the meetings with them, or at least 2 of the meetings, to try to see what could be done and support them as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Spirit, Dr. Spiritus?
We shouldn't take this light, but what the board did tonight as a utility district board was pretty monumental for this city. It's too bad that the news are not here tonight, because they were here every night when we had issues. It would have been nice for them to be here tonight to see the liftoff of the new water plant for the city. And I'd like to thank the city staff, the city manager and the city staff for bringing us to the point now where we could look at, I believe, these issues in the rearview mirror, and we look forward to look out of the windshield and see this new brand new water plant and probably the best water in Palm Beach County. Thank you.
Thank you. Davis Pinheiro.
All right, I just want to say thank you to my legislative aide, Chandra Stringer, for presenting tonight. We look forward to seeing you all on Monday evening at 6 o'clock right here at the Marina for our Neighborhood Navigator launch. Again, if you are a senior or you don't have, you're not computer literate, don't worry about the QR code and registering, just show up. We want to make sure that you're represented and that you work with us. So we look forward to seeing you all at 6 o'clock on Monday evening. Thank you.
Commissioner Millie Anderson?
Well, the mayor stole my 2 announcements that I was going to do. That was for Ms. Hall, congratulations, as well as to Ms. Doretta Park. There was one other that I just thought about and I forgot. I don't remember. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 2 birthdays. Commissioner Bruce Guyton's birthday is August 29th. Happy birthday. And our city manager's birthday is August 25th. Happy birthday to him as well. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.